Hello, good morning. Myself Dr. Ajay Kumar Jha, Associate Professor, Surgery, NMCH, Gaya. Today I will talk about bones and skull. Majority of burns are caused by heat, while skull is caused by moist heat. What happens here? In burn wound, there is coagulative necrosis. There is coagulative necrosis in the tissue. In burns and scars, there is coagulative necrosis. What are the causes of burns? Causes of burn are: number one, heat; number two, actinic rays; that is sunburn. Number three is radiation, say like from X-rays, etc. Fourth, electricity. Chemicals. Friction. There is also one entity called cold burn or frostbite. Cold burn, frostbite. In cold burn also there is coagulative necrosis of the tissues. So these are the causes of burn. Management of burn. Management of burn depends on consideration of shock, healing, and scarring. Management of burn depends on consideration of Shock, healing and scarring. We will come to shock. What is shock? Definition. What is shock? Shock is a life-threatening situation. Shock is a life-threatening situation. Mostly it is due to poor tissue perfusion along with impaired cell metabolism, resulting in serious abnormal pathophysiological abnormalities. There are 3 points. One is poor tissue perfusion, second is impaired cellular metabolism, impaired cell metabolism. Both these lead to serious pathophysiological abnormalities. Okay? Poor tissue perfusion along with impaired cell metabolism lead to serious pathophysiological abnormalities. Here in birth area is important for development of shock. Burn area. Now how we determine burn area? To measure burn area, we take help of Wallace rule of 9. Wallace it is Wallace rule of 9. Here different parts of body are given certain percentages. Say head and neck, upper extremity, front of chest, back of chest, front of abdomen, back of abdomen, front of lower extremity, back of lower extremity. They are all given 9% and perineum is given 1%. So total makes 100%. I will write it. Head and neck 9%, upper extremity, two into 9%, front end, back of chest, 2 into 9%, front and back of abdomen, 2 into 9%, front of both lower limb, 2 into 9%, हो गया। ठीक ठीक है, थैंक यू। ठीक back of both lower limb, 2 to 9%, perineum, 1%, total is 100%. So there are 11 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. 11 9. It makes 99%. And 1% is given to perineum. So it makes 100. Total makes 100%. This is called Wallace rule of 9. This is not strictly applicable in children and infants. In infants, head and neck is given 20%, whereas leg area is 9%. So this is Wallace rule of 9. Now what are the causes of burn shock? Causes of burn shock. Causes of burn shock. First is neurogenic, second is hypovolemic, first is neurogenic cause. Neurogenic is pain. The pain which occurs in burn that leads to shock. This is neurogenic cause. Second is hypovolemic. In hypovolemic, what happens? There is loss of water, electrolytes, plasma proteins in blisters, eczema, edema, exudation. There is loss of water, electrolytes and plasma proteins in blisters, exudation, edema and by evaporation. So there is loss of water, electrolytes and plasma proteins. Why this happens? This is due to vasodilatation and increased capillary permeability in wound. Vasodilatation and increased capillary permeability due to vasodilatation and increased capillary permeability in wound due to release of histamine, kinase, prostaglandins and fibrin degradation products. Due to release of histamine, kinase, prostaglandins and fibrin degradation products. Due to release of all these substances, there occurs vasodilatation and increased capillary permeability. So, there is loss of water, electrolytes, plasma proteins. Now we come to second point, that is healing. Healing. Depth of burn determines the mode of healing of wound. Depth of burn. According, taking into consideration depth, there are two types: partial thickness burn and full thickness burn. In partial thickness burn, healing occurs from remaining epithelial elements in deeper aspect of skin. Whole skin is not destroyed here. So, the epithelial elements what are left in deeper part of skin, from there healing occurs, such as hair follicles, sweat glands and sebaceous glands. What happens in full thickness burn? In full thickness burn, there is separation of slough. There is separation of slough in 2 to 3 ways. leaving behind red granulation area. There is separation of slug in 2 to 3 weeks, leaving behind red granulation area, which heals from margin by scarring and contracture. There is scarring and contracture. This type of wound, burn, full thickness burn, they usually require skin grafting to prevent or minimize this scarring and contracture. This skin grafting is done either after separation of slug or better still by excision and skin grafting 4 to 6 days post burn period. In 4 to 6 days post burn period, we can go for excision and skin grafting. This is better than if we wait for separation of slug and then we do skin grafting. How we assess depth of burn? To assess depth of burn, we examine sensitivity with a sterile unit. We examine sensitivity of the burn part with help of an sterile needle. In case of partial thickness burn, area is sensitive because hair endings are viable. So that area is sensitive. Patient feels pain there. If you touch that area, patient feels pain. In case of full thickness burn, that area is insensitive as the whole skin thickness is burned and there are no viable nerve endings left. There is one more technique called deep dermal burn. Deep dermal burn. This is borderline between partial thickness burn and full thickness burn. Here treatment is tangential excision and skin grafting. In deep dermal burn, treatment is tangential excision and skin grafting. Third point is scarring. We see that in case of partial thickness burn, healing occurs with minimal scarring. In partial thickness burn, healing occurs with minimal scarring, whereas in full thickness burn, healing occurs with scarring and contracture. That we have already discussed. Healing occurs with minimal scarring. Here, in full thickness burn, healing occurs with scarring and contracture. In this case, full thickness burn, to minimize scarring and contracture, what we do, we do a skin grafting in early stage, that is timely skin grafting. This is a full thickness burn to prevent scarring. In late cases, when scarring has already occurred, treatment is excision of a scar and full thickness skin graft. Early case, late case. In late case, excision of a scar and skin grafting. Early case, skin grafting. Hypertrophic post-burn scar. Hypertrophic post-burn scar is minimized by use of elasticated compression garments. Hypertrophic post-burn scar. This hypertrophic post-burn scar is minimized by use of elasticated compression garments. Elasticated compression garments. These garments are used for 9 to 10 months. These garments are worn for 9 to 10 months. Now we come to treatment program for burn. What is the treatment program? Number one is first aid. First aid. Number two is treatment of soft Number 3 is local treatment. Number 4 is general treatment. Treatment program is first aid, treatment of shock, local treatment, general treatment. Now we first come to first aid. First aid. Number 1 is immersion in cold water. Immersion in cold water. What it does? It reduces pain, blisters, that is exudation. It reduces pain, exudation and shock. This is immersion in cold water. Second is cover the part with clean material. Cover the part with clean material such as polythene film, plastic bags, etc. Cover the part with clean materials such as polythene films, plastic bags. Third is sedation. Give sedatives to relieve the pain or minimize the pain. Sedation. Fourth is application of ointments. Ointments such as silver sulfadiazine. Ointments such as silver sulfadiazine. Fifth is IV fluid to counter shock. IV fluid. Sixth, chemicals, chemical work. In chemical work, what we do dosing of burn area with water, thorough dosing of burn area with water, and then we apply sodium bicarb if it is acid burn, or vinegar or acetic acid if it is alkali burn. In chemical burns, we do thorough dosing of the burn part with water, and then if it is acetic burn, then use sodium bicarb, or if it is alkali burn, then use vinegar or acetic acid. Last but not the least is avoid undue cooling of the part. Why undue cooling of patient? Why undue cooling? Okay? So these are the 7 points which we should look while doing first aid treatment. Now we come to second part, that is treatment of shock. For this treatment of shock, we consider certain points. One is percentage of burn area. We measure percentage of burn area as per Wallace rule of 9. Take weight of patient. Mode of IV. Mode of IV administration. In shock patient with collapsed vein, we go for cut down, that is venous section. What is fluids? Which fluids we use? We use extern, plasma, hemocyls, electrolytes also. In electrolytes, Ringer's lactate. volume of fluid to be transfused. Now we will know about the volume of fluid. What is the volume of fluid? That is transfused in case of burn cases. हाँ हेलो आ गए। हाँ ठीक 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 है। हाँ ठीक। वॉल्यूम ऑफ फ्लूइड program is we use 6 rations of fluid in 36 hours to counter shock. The fluid used are dextran, plasma proteins, 5% dextrose for nutritional purpose. 6 rations are used. How we determine one ration? Volume of one ration. We take help of one formula, that is Muir and Berkeley. Muir and Berkeley formula. How we determine the volume? Weight of patient multiplied by percentage of work divided by 2 ml. This is one ration. One ration in ml, our weight of patient into percentage of burn divided by 2. We give 3 ration in first 12 hours, 6 ration in second 12 hours, and 1 ration in third 12 hours. Okay? In case of deep burn, if there is 20 to 25% deep burn, second ration is replaced with blood. If the burn is 25 to 50% deep burn, then second and sixth ration is replaced by blood. There is one other formula known as Parkland formula. Another option is to transfuse electrolytes in first 24 hours, mainly Ringer's lactate and 5% dextrose for nutritional purpose. Parkland formula is Barkman formula is in adults 3 ml per kg per percent of body. Volume used is 3 ml per kg per percent of burn in adults. In children, it is 4 ml per kg of weight per percent of burn. Fluid used is electrolyte, that is inverse lactate. Okay, now we will continue in next class. Thank you.